Hola y bienvenidos. I am Roman P. Reyes, your host for The Bravo Show, where music and art are in perfect harmony. Today we are talking with a very special guest. Can you introduce yourself?
Hi, I'm Suzanne Rios. I'm a Chandler resident. I've been living here for about 50 years. Grew up here in the East Valley. I'm an artist. I'm a gardener, and I'm a cook. And I like to tie them all together with some of the special things I do.
Now, you better take some notes because we are in for a treat. Can you get us started here? What do we have here?
Well, this is just some of the things that I have created with plants that I grow in my garden, some of which are very special to me. These nopalitos I picked this morning. They're from the opuntia plant, and the original pads that I planted here in this location where we live came from my grandmother's house in Texas. This is some calendula oil that I've created from plants I've harvested and dried. And what I do with those is I create these lotion bars. And they're very useful if you have itchy skin, just as a lotion itself. And I like to play with them and create molds with a mold that I have. These are the seeds from Flor de Jamaica that I grew one year, and I'm growing again. Right now it's a seedling. This is where you get your delicious water from. And I have more, this is called Shujinku chrysanthemum. It's used in tea. These are the chiltepin that I harvested last season from seeds that came from Texas, from over where my family lives. And more things that I've grown here are some chapalote corn I grew in my beds here. It's a 3,000-year-old non-GMO corn. Is very important to me. It's used in pinole and popcorn. And more seeds of things that I've grown, and then some of my art that I create. I'm a canner. I can various things, and the whole thing inspires me, and it drives my creativity. I'm rooting right now some lemongrass that I'll be planting. I purchased the stalks at Mekong Market recently, and I just like creating and making everything come full circle.
Now, how did you get started? Is this from a hand down from your grandmother? Or,
both sides of the family. My abuelita always grew calendula. That I can recall growing up, and she had a jar of these seeds, always in her pantry. And these are the seeds, and they didn't come from her seeds, but I recall that. My abuelito in Texas always grew green beans, so I'm growing some pole beans right now. And so it comes from both sides of the family. And the hollyhocks, everybody has them. So I use them in today's bread for breakfast. The water is dyed naturally with the dried flowers. And I use that in my sourdough bread yesterday, and that's what you had for breakfast. So I just like to experiment, and the garden calls me, and it also calls me to paint it. And that's a painting that I created for my garden. It's called La Cebolla, and it's a cebolla that sprouted from an onion that just sprouted in my refrigerator, and I went and placed it in the garden, and it just bloomed. So when it's finished blooming, it produces seeds. So it's just something nature is constantly going full circle.
Well, this is fantastic. So let's go take a look at your garden. See actual plants.
Okay. Just don't trip over the hose. So this is an area that I love because of its cultural feel. And I'm growing some sandia here. One of my earliest memories is of my tío Ovidio Morin coming to the Vitoria with a truckload of sandia from Wilcox. And he would tell my grandfather Chewy to pick anything he wanted. Those are beans that you're looking at now. And I place them for the nitrogen that they'll provide to my plants. And this humongous plant is Mexican oregano, which is actually in the verbena family, but this is what we use. And if you brush up against it, it releases a wonderful aroma of oregano. And coming over to this bed. We don't garden on this side of the house only because I have enough with what I'm doing, but I'm constantly collecting the scraps and leaves and debris and use it in my compost. These are baby tomatoes. They won't get bigger than that. They're called Ciudad Victoria, from Ciudad Victoria in Jalisco, Mexico. And I like the name, so I planted them. And I intersperse marigolds because it acts as a pest deterrent. And here's your natural seed pocket. So I just sprinkle them back. These are used for Dia de los Muertos, so they're very symbolic. The aroma is released, and it's supposed to bring your ancestors closer. And let's see if I can pick a beet. It'll probably be small-ish, but let's see what comes up. Oh, and the beet does go on. So, and then these are more traditional cherry tomatoes. They probably sprung from food scraps that I placed out in the garden. And when I want salad, they serve as a nice salad tomato for lunch or dinner or whatever. I'll pop this over here. And then I've got more things popping up here, but this is a pomegranate here that I love, and I love it. It's a love-hate relationship because some years I get fruit from it. The leaf-footed bugs like to mess with me and will attack a lot of them. But a pomegranate is really a shrub. I trained it to be more of a tree because our yard is very small and it's compact and it works for me. These are more hollyhocks with asparagus. You plant an asparagus once and you will have it for 20 years. This is Mary Washington, and I have harvested some this year. If you would have come about a month ago, all my hollyhocks were blooming, and so now I'm in the seed harvesting mode, and this little guy is collecting some pollen here. So I leave them alone, and when I'm done and they're done, I cut them at the base. And I would love, love, love a wood chipper, because I would just pop them in a wood chipper and they would come back to the soil and regenerate the soil. But I'll collect seeds, and the artist in me always sees pattern and repetition in nature. So this is what the seeds do. If you look close up, it's like a little pinwheel of seeds. And I'm just letting this guy hang around. The season is done for Brussels sprouts, but it's providing food for the caterpillars. If you don't see holes in your food, it's probably been sprayed with some kind of pest spray, and I don't mind seeing holes in my food because if they're eating it, it's safe for me. These are lettuce seeds that it sprouted, and I like to leave them for the birds because the little birds will collect the seeds and eat them, and then I'll collect some too for next year. This is my my girl. This is a sacred datura. I don't do anything with it. I don't use it, but she serves as a pollinator for the nocturnal pollinators. And these are the seed pods it produces. It's used as a ceremony in ceremonies for indigenous cultures. They know how to use it and respect it so that they don't hurt themselves with it. It's a bit of a hallucinogen, I believe. And this is a Barbados cherry. It is not native, but it loves the heat. And here's one of them becoming ripe for you. It's full of vitamin C, I think 4 times the regular vitamin C in a fruit. And when they're completely ripe, they're a little bit darker. They have 4 little seeds, and they're like sweet and tart. But the bush is completely loaded with blooms, and I can't wait to have my grandchildren just pop some Barbados cherries off of them. I bought this in Phoenix at a nursery near South Mountain, and I believe it's called Green Life Nursery, and they have a wonderful selection, and they're very knowledgeable on what you can plant here in the desert that's native. And I have some down below, some asparagus. Yes, asparagus. They're Imperial, I believe. Imperial asparagus. I like the name because Imperial and the shoes that the Chicanada likes to wear. And this one's popping up, and that is called Jerusalem artichoke. It is very drought tolerant. It produces like a sunflower and you eat the tubers. And you can roast them like a potato.
Wow.
And they serve as carbs, and they're used in like third world countries to feed the population.
Now, how
for
big will they
pennies.
get?
It'll grow tall. It'll
my
grow
goodness.
tall and be full of sunflowers. And this is one of my favorite plants, and I'm going to try to start more. Oh, look, she even showed up for you. This is a chiltepin plant, and the seeds came from Texas. And this thing is loaded with plants. I mean, with chiles. And I just love them. And they're delicious. I grew up with them. And I'm going to try to plant more so that way, in case anything ever happens to this plant. They like moisture. They like east-facing exposure. And they will die in direct sun. So it is under a jacaranda tree. It likes to be cared for and kind of babied, but I keep the area a little bit more moist because it likes humid weather. It grows up in the hill country in the monte.
Now, do you can any of these?
The chiles I don't. I dry them. I dry them, yes. But I'm trying to think. I can my tomatoes, and I gifted you a jar of my chow chow.
And I'm going to try
the
it.
Southern relish, and it's only made with green tomatoes and other ingredients like cauliflower. But if you can't get green tomatoes, you can't make chow chow. At least not the style that I'm used to making.
Tell us about your tea.
My tea. Well, these are my compost bins. It's kind of an ugly area, but I don't care. And it's where all my food scraps go. I'm growing some worms, some red wigglers there, and the worm castings serve to feed my garden, as well as the tea. The compost tea hasn't really dripped much out, but I'll dilute it and then I'll water my plants with it, and it acts as fertilizer for me.
So you don't buy any ready made?
The only thing I amend my soil with when I have to is mushroom compost and a little bit of steer manure.
Right.
And those are the only two things. Otherwise, I just try to people say that certain trees are messy. This jacaranda drops a lot of stuff, but one person's mess is another person's compost
That's
or
right.
mulch.
That's right. Mulch. There you
And
go.
these are the shagunku daisies that are chrysanthemums that I harvested for tea. And I'll be growing more things. We restarted the garden here last year. We scraped it back to nothing and put gravel in. And one of the things you have to have here in Arizona is shade. And if you don't have shade, you're going to struggle with your garden. And I can tell you that from experience. I ran around here like a chicken without a head a couple of summers trying to shade it. Looked like a refugee camp back here for one summer. And I just said, this is crazy. What am I doing? Just plant some shade. And that's what I did. These are desert willow trees. They're native to Arizona. So this one grew really fast. You can actually eat the flower, use it in tea as well.
Oh, wow.
And I like raised beds because I can control my soil. This is what's left of my tomato harvest this year. I had a whole bunch growing, and I've posted them on my page. These are like a plum tomato. I think they're a volunteer here. And these are bachelor button flowers. I use them in salads, and I also used them in the lotion bars that you saw. And I collect the seeds, and when I do harvest this, when it finally dies off, I'll cut it at the base. I don't want to disturb the soil because you're disturbing the mycorrhizum, which is like a network of goodness there that comes natural, and it helps to bring in and correct your soil biome.
Can I get one of these?
Yes, you can. But before the birds start getting them.
Delicious.
I did rinse them off, so you're not eating soil with that. But if you are, it's a little bit, we all ate soil when we were kids, plain. So this is another section I have here, and these are more of the Brussels sprouts. This one might make it. It might produce. There's some little tiny buttons down here trying to form, but this is more of that tiny tomato, the Ciudad Victoria. And these that's poking you, Gil, is some dragon fruit that my friends from San Diego the Castañones gifted me some cuttings of the red, purple dragon fruit or magenta colored dragon fruit. And it's grown from this original cutting to about 3 feet. It's like about, I don't know, maybe like this 36 inches maybe. And sunflowers. And behind you, I have my Mother of Millions, which inspired the painting Mother of Millions. And I have, this is some eggplant here that's growing. It's not quite ready to harvest, but baby egg, ouch. It has pokies. It has a baby eggplant. And I have other things growing in here. They're just like you came in late. These are sweet potatoes. You can eat the leaves in like a Asian style soup, like what is it, pho? You can put the leaves in soup. This little guy is called chicheclite berry. And they're ripe when the shine has dulled off. These are ripe. And they're native as well. You can try some. They're growing back there too.
Can I try this one?
Yes, you can try them.
Oh.
And I just let them grow. The birds don't seem to care too much for them. And if I feel like having one, I'll have one. And you can make jams with jellies. They're not very sweet. You do have to enhance them with the natural sweetness. Oops. This was covered in flowers a few weeks ago. And this is more Brussels sprouts. And this is some, I believe they're radishes going to seed. But this is a beautiful radish flower. And the flower's edible. You can use it in salad. And these are the seeds that I'm just going to collect when they're done. And this area was completely full of tomatoes. And I just pulled them out along with this side. We'll see if more come back. These were my Cherokee purple. But what I have growing now are sunflowers, I have pole beans, and I planted Armenian cucumbers, which is actually not a cucumber. It's in the melon family, so it likes the heat.
Right.
The melons, this is a time of year to plant watermelon, cantaloupe, okra. The flor de Jamaica. And this is an area that I want to develop to do some exercises in the morning. It's the cool side of my garden. These are potatoes that I tossed in here. And
Did you do this?
Yes, this one's not finished. It's kind of undone, and I will get to it. Eventually, I'd like to add some kind of hummingbird to this area, but that's about 8 years old. That's a take on Georgia O'Keeffe's Jimson weed.
Jimson weed.
Her Jimson weed, and that's a cousin, the tree of my desert willow. It's called a chitalpa tree, and that's native, but it's coming back to life. It started to look a little bit sick, and I contemplated removing it, but it seems to be bouncing back, so it's going to stay. These are native here. This is called San Marcos hibiscus, and they're native to Arizona. Here's a seed. I'm going to try and grow them from seed too, right here. This little black guy is a sweet seed, but it produces a really pretty flower that is native to Arizona.
Now, how much of this do you use for cooking?
This I don't use for cooking. That's a nopal that my tia gave me from the Vitoria, but I mean, I have the potatoes, and I use the tomatoes, the sunflowers, the beans will really be coming up, and I'll be harvesting the beans. More for just, it's not enough to can with, so I will probably be eating them as they come. But in the summer, I tend to kind of let the garden do its thing. When it's super, super hot. Whatever doesn't make it out here is kind of on its own. It's the survival of the fittest. And then I know from that what is going to be planted.
Okay. Well, thank you very much. This has been very educational, and we're looking forward to the next dinner.
Thank you. You're welcome.
It was wonderful. So Roman Reyes here signing off, and we want you to stay tuned to our program because we have a lot of things more coming. Thank you very much, and goodbye.